absolutely. Well, and the truth is that you just touched a very, very important point, and that is absolutely we are bombarded by phone calls. My Facebook is just going nuts. I mean, just name it, right?
Right.
And the truth is that I don't know all the details either.
Right.
And some people think that I should just because, or our CSR should just because. But the truth is that not all the information is out there, and we just need to be patient as you are, as everybody else is to be patient, right?
Right.
Now,
and I got to also believe, Alejandro, I also got to believe that as things do change, there's got to be reasons that it's being thought out as in steps, you know what I mean? So I know that I'll get a chance one day. I think that the reason I haven't had a personal conversation with Jovan or Chris Tidwell is because they know that I got their back. They know that I love them. They know that I'm here for them. So they might have to deal with other people that are whining and complaining and worrying and oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. See, they might have to deal with them faster than they deal with me because they know I'm okay.
That's right. Oh, hold on. Okay. Now, let me ask you, Robert. I mean, obviously, is it amazing? You have a wealth of experience. 25 years in the industry as a full-timer is a lot of years.
Yeah.
Being in the industry involved either as a corporate or as an affiliate to some other organizations. This year will be my 29th, but I cannot have claim that I have been those 29 years being as an affiliate. So, that
right.
means a huge, huge world of difference. Now, I have been, I have had good experiences and not so good experiences in network marketing, and basically, I mean, I listen to you, and obviously, we need to understand that the only constant in life is change.
Yes.
Is that correct? Could you tell us? Could you just bring out of your memory one experience that didn't turn to be so good, but actually within the industry, but actually turned to be better? I mean, you just said,
yeah.
When you were a mechanic and you were told that your life was going to be ruined forever, I know how it feels to be on workers' compensation. I know how to not to be able to give, how do you say, to support your family.
Right.
They just suddenly you find the industry and something magical happens. But then now within the industry, you have these experiences. How would you? What kind of experience did you have? How did you look into it? How did you came out victorious out of that experience? And what would you say to a brand new person that is right now feeling those same feelings
right.
to change that?
You asked the best questions, Alejandro. Thank you so much. The first thing I got to say to this is we all are humans and we're all not perfect. And so, but we all try to do their best. If anyone has ever experienced a relationship, see, being involved with a company and its product, they've done these interviews over and over again, and when they really ask people why did you get involved with the company that you're with, do you know that they say 98, that's a high statistic, 98% of the people get involved in a business because of the person that they invited them. And also, the person that invited them, they introduced them to somebody, like a Licinia Robez. And so when you get introduced to people make decisions because of the other people involved. And it's pretty crazy that when a relationship breaks up, I know that everyone on this call can relate to this. Garth Brooks, country western singer, whether you like him or not, has this song. It's called Thank God for Unanswered Prayers. Thank God for Unanswered Prayers. And what the song is about is, when he had a person that he felt that this is his true love, this is the girl that he was going to be with forever, when they broke up, he said that every day he prayed to have her come back into his life. And all of us have been through very difficult relationships where at the time the relationship breaks up, we're in our mind going, oh my God, my life is ended. I know that people even say, I don't want to live anymore. I'll never love anymore. I'm done. Even after a bad relationship with me, I'm saying, listen, I'm not interested in dating anymore. I'm just going to be single for the rest of my life. And in the song, what I love is it says that, it says he was in a store, in a grocery store, and he's there with his new wife and his 2 daughters. And he runs into the girl that he was praying to God to get back in his life. And he looked at his wife and he looked at his daughters and he got a smile on his face and he said, "Thank you, God, for not answering my prayers. Thank you." Because now he looked at his life and it's way better than he thought. He did find another lady. He did fall deeper in love. Now he's got 2 beautiful daughters. And if he would have got the answers to his prayers, he would have never found his new wife. He would have never found, had the 2 daughters with his wife. Well, Alejandro, just like you said, that's business. When I first got involved in my first network marketing company, it was called NSA. It sold water and air filters. And I was very blessed to have a great mentor. Everything was going great. I was with that company over 6.5 years. And then all of a sudden the company made some really weird decisions. They started changing the product line. They started changing the elements of the product where the product wasn't working like it did when we first launched the company. They made a lot of promises that we would go into certain countries, and they didn't do it. They made a lot of promises to the leadership, and they didn't do it. And so all of a sudden, 1990 comes around, and the mentor, the guy that taught me how to do this business, made a decision, that's enough. I put my faith and belief into these owners, and they're not doing what they said they were doing, and now it's hurting me and my family. Because he looked at his organization, me being in it, as his family. And so guess what? Overnight, I heard this. Everyone's got to go to Denver, Colorado. They got to go to this, the meeting, of my mentor. And I went to that meeting. There was thousands and thousands and thousands of people there. And then all of a sudden, he came on stage and announced that he was doing his own company. At the time, Alejandro, I was like, are you kidding me? And it was just, it floored me. But bottom line, when he launched his own company, I didn't realize that he had me in mind. I mean, everything changed, and everything changed for the better. Everything changed for the better. And so, I'm sitting there looking at 25 years in this industry, and guess what, Alejandro? I still build a network. I still build very close friends. My network keeps growing. I get better and better at this business, learning how to duplicate, learning how to make it work. So every time I've had to go from 4th grade to 5th grade, and then, 6th grade to junior high, and then junior high to high school, every time I've had to make big changes like that, I made up my mind that this has got to be better. This was got to be better. Because I want you to think about this really quickly. What person in their right mind would want to change everything to make it worse? Because here's something that you guys got to understand. If there are changes happening right now in Gano Excel, here's what you got to ask yourself. If they don't deliver on the product, and the product is not the same if not better, if the compensation plan is not the same if not better, if they don't do what they say they're going to do, they're not going to be around long. Because people like me and you are going to have to find a new home. So you want to talk about pressure? That's a lot of pressure. But just like you said, Alejandro, man, I've gone through things that in the time, in the moment, seemed like it was so devastating. And, I'm not ashamed to say this on this call. I went from NSA for 6 years and went from there to Equinox that, believe it or not, it didn't own up to what it said. I was only there for 9 months. Then I went to ACN, built a company with ACN. I was there for 6 years. We got all these gas and electricity customers. None of them ever got hooked up, ladies and gentlemen. None of the distributors ever got paid. So then I had to leave ACN. Between those, there was a company called Quorum. I was involved in this company called Quorum. I was doing well, sold electronics, alarm systems. And overnight, the distributors sued the owner, and the owner filed bankruptcy and went back to Hong Kong. I'm like, wow, to wake up one day and the company's bankrupt? What am I going to do? Am I going to go back and get a job? Am I going to believe that I can continue to help people? Do I need to continue to find a home? And I did. And then I went to a company called Pro Travel Network, and they sold, help people become travel agents at home. And then in a blink of an eye, guess what? All of a sudden the economy had a problems in 2008, and no one was paying $500 anymore to be a travel agent. No one was traveling anymore. It was right after 9/11, and everyone's going, man, I'm done. So then I got involved in a company called Tahitian Noni. It was a juice. That's where Fred Herzog and Alberto Martinez were. And then all of a sudden, in a blink of an eye, Alejandro, every company had a juice. Every company had an exotic juice. In fact, the executives of Tahitian Noni started a company called Zango. And then, USANA, which is a network marketing company, their top rep started Monavi. And so you got to think that this happens a lot. So then all of a sudden I left Tahitian Noni, went with Fred Herzog to a company called Kiani, another juice company. And that's when in October of 2008, Jovan Kabasic called me.
Robert, I hear you, and it just sounds almost like we've been walking the very same path.
Yes.
I could tell the same story, and it appears that most of the companies you're mentioning actually are Utah companies, and as you know, I've been living there for about 25 years.
Right.
You know what? I really appreciate all of these your sincerity with which you share all this story. Obviously, what we want to tell all our affiliates is that they need to remain united, that they need to be strong, and that they must not allow confusion or fear overcoming. What would you say?
Really simple is if you think that if you don't stay united, you listen to other people's opinions and you buy that opinion and you go to another company, you don't think that's going to change? So you got to get used to change. You just got to say, hey, if you get involved in this industry and you do well, you better be willing to change your automobile. You better be willing to change your address. You better be able to change your lifestyle. I never even got in an airplane before this industry. Now I'm traveling, I get to travel with Alejandro every Saturday now. So a lot of things can change, and you want to have a great life for you and your family. So don't be scared of change, embrace change. The one thing that I said when we changed our compensation plan, Alejandro, that was great, is every year they have these, they're called the Academy Awards. And these are awards that are giving to the best actors and actresses in the world. Do you know last year, they always hold them in LA at the Kodak Theater. Kodak, the cameras. Do you know that when change happens in the world, all of a sudden, guess what? People are taking phones with digital. Digital cameras came out. Then they put digital pictures in phones. And guess what? Kodak filed bankruptcy, and next year when they had the awards, they had to take their name off the building. It's not known as the Kodak Theater anymore. Why? Because they didn't want to change. They didn't want to change. They're going, oh, this is not happening. I'm going to fight it. I've had it. Like Jovan Kabasic sat around and thought of ways to hurt me and hurt his family. You got to stop listening to other people. Because if you listen to other people and you go with them, and you really don't think that things will change with them, their company, their compensation, their product, their ability to teach people. See, here's the one thing I want you to ask yourself in closing. When you talk to a leader, any leader, say it's a leader from another company or your upline, and they're telling you negative stuff about Jovan Kabasic and Gano Excel, here's what I want you to ask them. Hey, listen, have you ever been with more than one company?